Hey guys, it's Wendy here with Wendy's Plans, and today I thought I would start a series of videos. I'm not sure how many it's going to take, but I don't think that it will be more than maybe 3, 4 at the most. And this series is going to be how I am starting a planner routine and what I want to achieve from a planner routine. So guys, if this interests you, please stick around. Okay guys, so the first thing that I want to say is this is not something that I have come up with on my own. This is things that I have picked up from watching other people's videos as far as picking something from each person that I took away from it thinking that will work for me. And so my goal is to kind of put all of that together and see if I can come up with a routine that works for me. So, guys, everybody is going to need to come up with their own routine, but you may need to do like me and just watch several goal setting. I looked at goal setting videos. I looked at planner routine videos. I looked at specifically to Hobonichi Cousin. I looked at people who used Happy Planner, people who used the Erin Condren, the Wonderland. I looked at a lot of videos on this subject. And I took away a few key items that, number one, reappeared in each one of these videos I looked at. So that is what I kind of have in my mind what I want to do. The biggest thing that I took away is I have to have goals. Have to have a vision of what it is I want and what I am trying to accomplish. So, the first thing that I need to do is I need to set up yearly goals. And by this is going to be something that I want to master and get done in 1 year's time. And I know what you're going to say, Wendy, this is August. And you're right. So, yes, I'm going to set up yearly goals today that cannot be obtained by the end of the year. But what can happen is that the start of the year next year in January 2022, that sounds odd, 2022. I can look at my goal list for today that I set and made today, and I can look at it and say, what did I accomplish and what needs to go on to next year's goals. The other thing that is going to go on this list, it's not just goals, it's going to be the habits that I want to get started on now that I can move forward with from now on. So, what are those habits that I have not mastered that I want to master, and how am I going to make time for those goals? And then there is my task that I have to do every day, or my to-do list, which is things that I have to get done every day. So my planning style up until now has been to select a day that I am going to do things, and that's where I plan it. And that kind of gets me in a rut because I feel like I do the same thing on the same days, and I get bored with that. And I feel like that is structuring my day to where I can't make changes, if that makes any sense. So I stopped the camera for just a moment because I wanted to go get my moleskin notebook that I keep in my purse. This is something that is totally new for me, and this is my it's a little notebook that I keep in my purse now. And I'm going to tell you, I got this idea from, I wrote her name down. Hold on just a second. I got this idea from, a lot of the ideas that I'm going to talk to you about today comes from Lauren with Personalize My Planner. And I picked up from her a reading I don't know, guys. It's a book that she recommended, and it's called ZTD, or Zen to Done. So she is just one of them that I watched. There are several, and I will try to link them below. But the thing that she said is to always keep a little notebook with you at all times, so that you can go in when you have an idea and you can put it down. Now, the idea is not that it's just for ideas, like for me, for a YouTube video. It's things that I want to do. It could be things that I remember that I haven't done that I need to do. So a lot of times when I'm at work, I will think about something. Something will just, I could be listening to a podcast, I could be listening to a book, and something is said that triggers a thought for me. Or something comes up in my daily work where somebody will come and ask me a question. Several of the girls that I work with know that I'm a planner, and they'll come and ask me how I would do something in my planner, or they'll be like, hey, you're the planner girl, help me with this. And so it will trigger a thought that maybe I should use this in my own planning system. So what I do is I just write down a thought. And so I have just started using this in the last few weeks. And as you can see, I am utilizing it. So ideally, I would have liked to have gotten a book that I could rip the old pages out. But you know what? That's okay, because at the end of the year, I can go back and look at some of my suggestions. So that was a big help. That being said, I do like that. The other thing that every video stated was you needed to have a vision. So guys, I pulled out my first of the year portion of my avec, and I went to my vision board. And in my vision board, you can see that number one, part of this is my word for the year, which is social, which is why I have all these social media icons over to the side, because I wanted to incorporate that on my vision board to remind me that I wanted to become more social. And I will try to link that video up at the top. It's not about posting on social media and that kind of thing. It's being social in a lot of different ways. So in my vision board, I knew I was moving, and I knew I needed to get organized and make sure all of my stuff was ready for moving. I knew I was planning a vacation to go to Boonesboro, or at the time that I set this up, I knew that was a goal that I wanted to do. And I did it. I did plan that vacation, and I did go. The next thing is my future goal, and something that I put on here every vision board, is that I know I want to go RVing. And I pulled just a picture of an RV out here to remind me of that. The next is to save money. And to start managing my money to get to my goal of retiring by the time I'm 60. And I have been working on that. The other thing is a reminder that I do have an issue with my hip, and it has been recommended that I will probably have have to have a hip replacement. And so my goal has been to lose weight, exercise, and see if that helps my hip. What are the things that I can do to keep from having a hip replacement? So that is why that was on here. And then my Niagara Falls, that was the second trip that I was hoping to plan this year. But guys, I'm going to tell you, it's not going to happen. And it's not because I didn't plan it out. I really wanted to go. And I was really hoping I could go. Now, Canada is opening its border closer to the end of August. That is what they've announced. I don't know if it's going to happen. And I do want to see Niagara Falls from the Canadian side. That is on hold because of everything that's going on right now with COVID, because the numbers are so high again that I do not want to put myself or anybody else at risk. So that's on hold, and that's okay. These two are goals that I know I will get to. I just need to plan those out. So this is my vision board. So I'm going to set that to the side. So what we're going to do today is, I don't need this to be the 14th. What I need it to be is my yearly goals. So we're going to put one of these date covers over, which is by Mandy Lynn Plans. And we are going to put, I'm just going to put year. I'm going to put year goals instead of yearly goals. We're just going to put year. And I think I'm just going to put, let's just go yearly. I can't make up my mind, guys. Okay. So I'm going to keep you turned like this because it's easier for me to be able to write. So what are my year goals? What are my future goals? What is it that I want to accomplish? What is my goal that is going to make me happy? What are the goals that I want to move forward on, whether it takes me this year, next year, or 2 years from now? What is that goal? My number one goal is retire by 60. That is a big goal. That is a goal that I would say is set in concrete. That is what I want. My second goal is RV full-time. That is something that I have thought about really consistently over the last 3 to 4 years. It is something that I have thought about since I was in my 20s. I don't know why I was there, but I was at an RV show. It was more than just an RV show. It was like at a fair, and that was part of it, was the RV show and vacations and kind of, that kind of thing set up in this one area. And it kind of tickled that little feeling of, wouldn't this be nice to be able to own an RV and just go wherever? So that has really been with me for a long time. The next thing is planning financials. So planning financials for me is talking to a financial planner who can help me achieve the goal that I'm going to need, because I can't full-time RV without an income. So how am I going to have an income? Number one. Number two, can I work on the road? Is that a way to finance my goals? Number three is, what am I going to do if I absolutely hate RVing? Those are some considerations. So each one of these yearly goals are going to be things that are not accomplished by saying, I'm going to retire by 60. I have to have that goal, and then I need to set goals of how I'm going to achieve that. That is the reason I'm listing these down here. Another goal is to continue to downsize. So I'm going to give you a brief I was going to say 5 seconds. It'll take more than 5 seconds. But I'm going to give you a very brief synopsis of what has taken place over the last few years. So my husband passed. We were in his family home that we purchased from his parents. This home was 3,400 square foot. It was a huge house. They sold it to us at a really good price, and I would never have been able to afford this home, realistically afford this home, if I had it built brand new and purchased it. They wanted to keep the home in the family as long as possible, so they sold us this home when they downsized. Me and my husband lived in this home with my son I sold it at 15 years. My husband had passed at that point 3 years previously. So we had spent a bulk of our time together in this home. So when I sold that home, I went to a 900 square foot apartment because at that point things were crazy. The real estate market was crazy. There was no houses to buy. And if you could find something, it went in immediately. And the reason for that in my area was because we had just gone through Hurricane Florence, and it had devastated our area as far as housing. People were dislocated from their homes because of repairs, for flooding, for hurricane damage, and for all these reasons. So I was buying a house at a point in time where there was nothing on the market. So for me, I went into an apartment. That forced me to downsize quite a bit. So then that was a little bit too small for me and my son to live in a sticks and bricks home. So we moved to a 3-bedroom apartment versus a 2-bedroom. And his girlfriend moved in with us for the length of that lease. So when we parted that lease and we both rented our own apartments, that forced me to downsize more because I felt like they needed help getting started. They took part of the furniture that I had kept out because I knew I had stuff in storage. So in this year alone, I have moved to a new apartment. I have pulled everything out of storage. Over half of what was in storage, I either donated, trashed, or gave away to like my son and his girlfriend. So I have already downsized quite a bit. But I also, in that downsizing process, I had to be able to live in my apartment and be comfortable. And there were a few things that I had to purchase. So now I am looking at what can I get rid of that I absolutely do not need, and how minimal can I go. And so when I'm saying continue to downsize, that is what it is. I can look in my office and I see a ton of craft supplies that I thought I would start using now that I'm in my new office, and I'm not using those. So number one, that's the first thing I want to start downsizing. So when I continue to downsize, I'm going to break this into smaller and smaller bits. So that's one of the other things that I'm keeping on this list. Because guys, when I go to a camper, it's going to be tiny. So I need to get there. So that is another thing that I need to do. So these are really my yearly goals. What are some habits that I want to change this year? One of those is, and I'm going to skip some space, is I'm just going to put spending habits. And this is going to go back to planning my financials. Is sometimes I see something that I want on Instagram or Facebook or watching other people's videos, and I'm like, oh, I want to try that, and I order it, and then I'm just creating more stuff. So there have been a couple things that I have seen that I really truly want that are part of the planning community that I really, really, truly want and I really want to try. But I've kind of just flagged those and I'm like, let's see how many times I go back and I keep watching videos and I'm like trying to decide, is this something I truly want because I want to try it, or is this something I want because somebody else has it? So that is my way of trying to curb those spending habits. So that is a habit that I want to change. The next habit that I want to change is, I don't know how to put it down here. So I'm going to put hair. I know this sounds crazy. But a habit that I'm going to put hair washing. So right now, I typically wash my hair twice a week. And this was suggested from my hairdresser because she said my hair was really dry because over the years I have colored and I had straightened my hair for many, many years. And so my hair is damaged and it is dry. And she said what continues to dry my hair out was that I was washing my hair every single day. And so I started I worked myself to the point where I could wash my hair every third day. And so that ended up being twice, sometimes 3 times a week. And I don't feel like that is enough now because I am working out. So, guys, there's no other way to say this without being gross, but I sweat when I'm working out and I'm walking, and I can really tell it with my hair. So I want to increase the amount of times that I'm washing my hair from every 3 days to at least 3 times a week. So that is a habit that I want to incorporate. But the problem is, I know exactly how long it takes me to get ready in the morning. So sometimes I procrastinate and I think, oh, I don't have to wash my hair today. It's really not that bad. And I go an extra day and I'm back to 2 to 3 times a week. And I need to stand firm on 3 times a week. So I want to get into that habit. Another goal I want to get back to is journaling daily. I'm struggling with this, and guys, I was so good about journaling. I haven't been journaling in this one. I was going to flip back, but I don't journal in this planner anymore. I have gotten away from that, and I was really good about that for the first half of the year. I have been good about that for over a year. And part of the problem with this is I haven't set up a zone in my house that is for journaling, where I keep my supplies right there, where it's not aggravating or a chore to get all of that stuff together and to sit down and journal. So that's one of the things that I am going to do, is create a journaling spot that I can just sit there every single day. So that is another habit that I want to develop. Another habit that I want to establish is I need to go back to my AM and PM routines. I feel like when I first moved into my apartment by myself, I had these routines well established, and I didn't feel that I needed to track these routines. And I think it's because those routines have changed and I did not redevelop those routines. So I am going to set up new AM and PM routines, and I am going to start tracking those routines, because it only takes a few weeks to develop those routines, but you can lose those routines in just a few days. So that is something else that I need to work on. My other goals is to spend time with my friends. And part of that is being social. So right now, with the way COVID has been, this has been a very difficult routine to establish. And it's something that I want to work on, whether it's meeting to walk or where we're out and we don't have to wear a mask, but we can be apart and still walk. Excuse me. Or just getting out with my son and his girlfriend to play disc golf more, setting time for that, getting out, even if it's just me and walking in the park, which I have stepped up that a lot. And I do see the same people over and over in the park, and I do force myself to speak, but I feel like I need to go a little step further. So that is one of the things that I really truly want to do. The other thing that I need to do is to establish to-do lists. I think that is one of the things that has really not kept me where I want to be for the year. And by that, I mean, I do better with a to-do list and taking things from my to-do list and putting them into my plan. So when I get home, I can look at my to-do list and I can say, yes, I have time right now to do this. And I need to establish those time parameters to do that. Instead of coming home, immediately going in and starting cooking and immediately eating and then cleaning up my kitchen and then sitting down and getting on my iPad or whatever, and then my night's gone. I need to start setting a set amount of time when I first get home to doing chores or those things that I need to do to maintain my home and to apply time to my goals. So I need to establish those to-do lists. And then the next thing that I need to do is I want to focus on my planning, on my videos, and on all my posts. So I really enjoy making videos. I really enjoy communicating to people through my videos, through my Instagram posts, through Facebook on Mandy Lynn Plans. But the thing that I really want to do, guys, is I've never been a big Facebook person. I think I was just born in the wrong time frame. I don't know, but Facebook was never one of those social media platforms that I mastered. And if I go on vacation, yes, I will post to my personal Facebook page. But that's not what I want to do. I want to have another extension of Wendy's Plans. And I think I can utilize a Facebook page called Wendy's Plans, kind of where I can blog about things, just a quick blog about, how I'm doing my planning and things like that. That is what I want to focus on. So I want to for lack of a better terminology, is I want to move forward with Wendy's Plans, and I want to make it bigger, and I want it to grow because this is something that I enjoy. So I want to focus my time on that. So these right now are my biggest goals and habits that I want to change. And so now the next step that I need to do is I need to set up quarterly goals. I need to set up, and once I get quarterly goals set up, then I can break it down even further into what do I want to accomplish for this month, what do I want to accomplish this week, and how to break that down into chunks. So Zen to Done shows you how to break those down. So, for example, if I want to break down, I'm just going to pick like my journaling daily habit. So, I need to look at what is causing me not to journal daily. And so I've already decided that one of the problems is I don't have a place in my home that I have said, this is where I'm going to journal. And it's not just about saying this is where I'm going to journal, because I have tried a couple of different places and I'm like, this is not comfortable for me. Places that I thought would be comfortable, like in my office, I thought that would be the perfect place. I set up a area and I felt like I was removed more from my environment than if I was in, for example, my dining area or my living area or my bedroom. So I was like, okay, that's not working for me. And the reason I knew it wasn't working for me was because I just didn't go in there to journal. And a week went by and I was like, man, I have not gone in there and journaled. So the next place I did was I set up a little spot in my living room where I had a chair and a footstool where I could prop my feet up. And so everything could be in my lap. And I have one of those lap desks, and I would sit right there and I would journal, and I did it every single night. And then for some reason I thought, I need more room. I didn't. And then the next thought was, the cat needs a way to get up on the bed. So I took my footstool and I put it beside the bed so she can get on the bed easier. And that did fix the cat's issue. But what happened was, now that chair's not comfortable for me to plan in. I'm really short-legged, guys. I say that. I'm just short. And so when I sit in this chair, it's a very comfortable chair, but my feet don't hit the floor. So I need that footstool there. So instead of just going out and finding a footstool at, like a Habitat store or a consignment store or somewhere where I'm not going to spend a lot of money for it, I've just done nothing. So then I just kind of went to my coffee table. Well, that's not comfortable either. And then I went to my dining room table. And the problem with the dining room table is that I can't eat my dinner there because I'm spread all over. So you can see how the progression went to, I'm just not going to journal because I'm everywhere all over my house. So I need to, number one, I need to set up a spot for journaling. And how do I set up that spot? And I need to set up, what are the things that I need to do to make this comfortable for me? So as you can see, it's analyzing that one thing. And so that's going to be one of the first things I work on, by the way. I want to set that up and say, okay, today, this is what I want to do. But I want to spend 30 minutes doing this. So I'm going to take 30 minutes and I'm going to set up my cart that is going to house all of my journaling supplies. And that's it. That's all I'm going to do. And then the next day, I'm going to spend 30 minutes and I am going to pick out that spot. Where is my spot going to be? Is it going to go back to my chair that I really was comfortable at and try that? Or am I just going to take my cart and move to different locations and figure out where it works best for me? And so I'm going to spend 30 minutes a day tackling goals. So I may have 2 things that I'm working on in a week that I am trying to establish. I do not want, and everyone has said in all the videos that I look at, is not to have more than 2 to 3 goals that you're working on at a time. And then the trick is to spend 30 minutes working on these goals. Get as much done as you can in that 30 minutes, set a timer, and then stop. And then the next time you come back to it, spend 30 minutes and then stop. And that's how I'm going to break down my journaling habit. And one of those things is going out and finding that footstool that I need, whether it's new or whether it's used, which I would prefer, and get myself set up. So that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to try my best to cut down this video so it's not so long. But guys, it may take 2 or 3 of these videos that are very long to show you what my goals are and how I am going to set up my planner routine. And then once I get all my lists done, then how I'm going to put it into my planner. So I'm going to try to put this first part up before I post my planner spread for this week. And you may see me pulling out parts of each of these into that planner spread this week. I am going to film all the routines first so that I can start the planning part of this. So guys, I hope you'll be patient with me and let us get through all these routines, and maybe you can pick up an idea from me of what I'm going to do. That's something, if it's just one of those habits that you pick up from me, that would be wonderful. And maybe it gives you an idea of going on a totally different tangent. But I feel like for me, I need to get my routine set in stone and get it moving forward. So guys, until next time, bye-bye.